Welcome to English Prime Podcast. Let's get started.
Hey, English learners. Welcome back to English Prime Podcast. Here, we learn real English through simple conversations, daily life stories, and powerful communication tips. So relax, enjoy, and let's improve your English together. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jake. Here, we help you sound more natural, more confident, and more like a real English speaker.
So, I want to start with a simple question today. Do you ever say yes to something even when you really want to say no?
Yeah, I think almost everyone does that sometimes.
Exactly. Like someone asks you for a favor or maybe invites you somewhere. And inside you're thinking, I really don't want to do this, but you still say yes.
And then later, you kind of regret it.
Yes, you feel a little frustrated, maybe even tired, but at the same time, you're like, it's okay, I was just being nice.
But the interesting thing is, it doesn't always feel good, right?
Yeah, that's the confusing part. Being nice is supposed to feel good, but sometimes it just feels heavy.
That's because sometimes it's not really kindness.
What do you mean?
I mean, sometimes we're not being nice because we want to. We're being nice because we don't want to upset anyone.
Oh, yeah, that's actually true.
Like, we don't want conflict, we don't want awkward situations, so we just go along with things, even if it's not what we really want.
And I think a lot of people can relate to that because no one wants to seem rude or selfish.
Exactly. But the question is being too nice actually a good thing?
Yeah, or is it something that quietly causes problems in our life?
That's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. If you enjoy these kinds of real and honest conversations, don't forget to like the video, and let's get into it.
So, let me ask you honestly, do you find it hard to say no sometimes?
Yeah, I do actually. I mean, even when I know I should say no, I still end up saying yes.
Why do you think that happens?
I think it's mostly because I don't want to hurt the other person. Like I don't want them to feel bad or think that I'm rude.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And also, I feel a bit guilty. Like if someone asks me for help and I say no, it just feels wrong.
Yeah, that feeling of guilt is very real.
Exactly. So it just feels easier to say yes in that moment, even if I'm not really okay with it.
But then later, it doesn't feel so easy anymore, right?
Not at all. Later, I'm like, why did I agree to this?
Yeah, that's the interesting part. In the moment, saying yes feels comfortable, but later it creates stress.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not even a big thing. It's just small situations again and again.
Exactly. Small yeses again and again. And slowly it becomes a habit.
And then you don't even realize it. You just automatically agree to things.
Yeah, and that's where it starts to become a problem.
What do you mean?
I mean, when you keep saying yes just to avoid discomfort, it's not really kindness anymore.
That's interesting.
It becomes more like avoiding something. Avoiding conflict, avoiding awkwardness, avoiding saying what you actually feel.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And the thing is, it shows up in very normal, everyday situations.
Like what?
Like, someone asks you for help when you're already tired, and instead of saying, I can't right now, you just say yes.
Yeah, I've done that so many times.
Or maybe you're in a conversation and you don't really agree with something, but you just stay quiet or agree anyway.
Oh, that happens a lot. Sometimes I just nod and smile, even if I'm thinking something completely different.
Exactly. You just go along with it.
Yeah, because stopping the conversation and saying what you really think feels uncomfortable.
Right. And most people try to avoid that discomfort.
But the strange thing is, that discomfort doesn't really go away, does it?
No, it just changes form.
What do you mean?
In the moment, you avoid the discomfort by saying yes, but later it turns into frustration, stress, even resentment sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you start feeling tired, maybe even a little annoyed, but you don't say anything.
And then you keep it inside.
Exactly. And over time, that builds up.
Yeah. And I think that's why some people feel emotionally drained, even if they're always being nice.
That's a really important point. Being nice all the time can actually be exhausting, especially when it's not coming from a real choice.
Yeah,
it starts to feel like you're doing things for others, but ignoring yourself.
Yeah. And when that keeps happening, there's usually something deeper behind it.
Like what?
I think a big part of it is fear.
Fear?
Yeah. Fear of how people will react. Fear of disappointing someone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, if you say no, you start thinking, what if they get upset? Or what if they don't like me anymore?
Exactly. That thought comes so quickly.
And because of that, saying yes feels safer.
Yeah, it feels like the easier option in that moment.
But it's not really about the situation. It's about wanting to be accepted.
Yeah. I think a lot of people just want to be liked.
Exactly. We want people to see us as kind, helpful, easy to be around.
And we don't want to seem difficult or rude.
Right. So instead of being honest, we choose to be agreeable.
Even if it's not real.
Yeah, even if it's not how we actually feel.
That's interesting. Because on the outside, it looks like kindness. But inside, it's something else.
Exactly. On the outside, it looks like you're being a good person, but inside, it's coming from pressure.
Pressure to keep everyone happy.
Yeah, and also pressure to avoid conflict.
I think a lot of people see conflict as something negative.
That's true. People think if there's conflict, something is wrong.
But avoiding it all the time also creates problems.
Exactly. When you avoid small, uncomfortable moments, they turn into bigger issues later.
Yeah, that's actually really true.
But let me ask you something. Do you think being nice is always a good thing?
I mean, yeah, I think so. Like, the world needs more kind people, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. Kindness is important.
Exactly. So I don't think being nice is a bad thing.
No, it's not bad at all. But I think there's a difference that people don't always see.
What kind of difference?
The difference between being kind and being too nice.
Okay, explain that.
Being kind means you choose to help someone because you genuinely want to.
Right.
But being too nice means you feel like you have to, even when you don't want to.
Oh, yeah, that feels very different.
Exactly. One comes from a place of choice, the other comes from pressure.
Yeah, and I think most people don't even notice that difference.
That's the problem. They think I'm just being a good person, but inside they feel uncomfortable.
And maybe even a little unhappy.
Yeah, because they're ignoring their own needs.
So it's not really about stopping kindness.
No, not at all. It's about not losing yourself while trying to be nice.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense.
And when people don't see that difference, it starts to affect their life in small but serious ways.
Like what?
Well, for example, people might start taking advantage of you.
Yeah, that's true.
Not always in a bad way, but if you always say yes, people just expect it from you.
Right. They don't even think twice before asking.
Exactly. And slowly, your time and energy start getting used up.
Yeah, and you don't even realize it at first.
But then you start feeling tired, mentally and emotionally.
Yeah, like you're always doing something for others, but you don't have time for yourself.
Exactly. And another thing is, people may stop respecting your boundaries.
Yeah, because you're not really showing any.
Right. If you don't set limits, people assume there are none.
And then it becomes normal for them.
Yeah. And for you, it becomes frustrating.
Because inside, you're like, why am I always the one doing everything?
Exactly. But at the same time, you're not saying anything.
Yeah, and that's where it gets confusing.
Because you feel upset, but you also feel like it's your fault.
Yeah, that's a really uncomfortable feeling.
And over time, that turns into resentment.
Yeah, you start feeling annoyed even with people you care about.
Exactly. And that's the dangerous part, because now your relationships are affected too.
Yeah. So something that started as being nice actually creates distance in relationships.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't notice that until it's already happening.
Yeah, because on the surface, everything looks fine.
Exactly. You're being polite, you're helping others, but inside you don't feel okay.
So I think this is a good moment to ask.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt like this?
Like you're always being nice, but at the same time you feel tired or a little frustrated inside?
Or maybe you've said yes to something, and later you just wished you had said no.
Yeah, and you didn't say anything, but it stayed in your mind.
That feeling is more common than people think.
So take a second and really think about it.
Do you find it hard to say no?
Or do you sometimes feel like people expect too much from you just because you're always nice?
It's an important question because the answer tells you a lot about your habits.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't really understand it until you experience it clearly in a situation.
Yeah. Actually, this reminds me of something that happened to me recently.
Oh, really? What happened?
So, a friend of mine asked me to help with something, and honestly, I was already really tired that day. I had a lot going on, and I just wanted to rest. But when they asked me, I didn't even think properly. I just said yes.
Yeah, that quick yes.
Exactly. It just came out automatically.
And how did you feel after that?
At first, I was like, okay, it's fine. But later, I started feeling stressed. Because now I had more to do, and I didn't really have the energy for it.
Yeah.
And the worst part was, I felt a little annoyed, but not at them, at myself.
Yeah, that's very real.
I kept thinking, why didn't I just say no?
Exactly.
And then I realized something.
What?
I wasn't really being kind in that moment. I was just avoiding saying no.
Yeah, that's a powerful realization.
Because if I was honest, I would have said, I can't do it today.
Right.
But instead, I ignored how I felt, and later it just made things harder for me.
Yeah. Small moment, but big lesson.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people have experienced something like this.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest mistakes people make in these situations is how they see the word no.
What do you mean?
A lot of people think saying no is rude.
Yeah, that's exactly how it feels.
Like if you say no, you're being a bad person, or you don't care about others.
Right. And that's why it feels so uncomfortable.
But in reality, saying no is not rude. It's just being honest.
Yeah, that's a very different way to see it.
Because when you say yes, even when you don't want to, you're not being honest with the other person.
Yeah, that's true.
And also, you're not being honest with yourself.
That's actually the bigger problem.
Exactly. So instead of thinking no is rude, it's better to think no is clear.
Yeah, and I think people respect clarity more than we realize.
They do. Maybe not in the moment, but in the long run, it builds real respect.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And I think another thing that really helps is not trying to change everything at once.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, a lot of people realize this problem and then they think, okay, from now on, I'll say no to everything.
Yeah, that sounds a bit extreme.
Exactly. And it usually doesn't work.
So what should people do instead?
Start small.
Small?
Yeah, small boundaries in simple situations.
Like what?
Like if someone asks you to do something minor and you really don't have time, you can just say, I can't do that right now.
Yeah, that sounds simple.
It is simple, but it's powerful.
Because you're being honest without being rude.
Exactly. And the more you do that in small situations, the more natural it starts to feel.
Yeah, it becomes easier over time.
Right. You build that habit slowly instead of forcing yourself into big, uncomfortable situations.
Yeah, that actually feels more realistic.
Yeah. And I think there's one more important thing here.
What's that?
You have to accept that it will feel uncomfortable at first.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if you've been saying yes all the time, saying no suddenly feels strange.
Yeah, it almost feels wrong, even if you know it's the right thing.
Exactly. That discomfort doesn't mean you're doing something bad. It just means you're doing something new.
I like that.
Most people avoid saying no because they want to stay comfortable.
But that comfort is only temporary.
Right, because later it turns into stress and frustration.
Yeah, so it's like you're choosing a small discomfort now to avoid a bigger problem later.
Exactly. And over time, that small discomfort becomes confidence.
Yeah, that's a really powerful shift.
So maybe the goal is not to feel comfortable immediately.
But to be honest with yourself first.
Exactly.
So now we want to hear from you.
Yeah. What do you think about this?
Do you find it hard to say no, even when you really want to?
Or do you feel like people sometimes expect too much from you just because you're always nice?
Share your thoughts with us. We'd really like to know your experience.
And now, let's quickly look at some useful English from our conversation.
Yeah, because we use some really natural expressions that you can start using in your daily life.
Exactly. So one phrase we used was go along with it.
Yeah, that's when you agree with something, even if you're not fully sure or you don't really want to.
Right. Like earlier, we talked about how people just go along with things to avoid awkward situations.
Yeah. For example, you can say, I didn't really want to go, but I just went along with it.
Perfect. Another useful expression we used was speak up,
Yeah, and that simply means to say what you really think or feel.
especially in situations where it's not easy.
Exactly. Like, I wanted to say something, but I didn't speak up.
Yeah, and that's very common when people are trying to be too nice.
Another one I remember is give in.
Yeah, that's a good one. It means you stop resisting and just agree, even if you didn't want to.
Right. Like, I didn't want to help, but I gave in.
Exactly. It often happens when someone keeps asking or when you feel pressure.
And we also use the phrase feel drained.
Yeah, that means feeling very tired, not just physically, but emotionally too.
Like when you've been doing too much for others.
Right. For example, after that week, I felt completely drained.
Yeah, that's a very real feeling for people who are always saying yes.
And one more important phrase we used was stand up for yourself.
Yeah, I like that one.
It means to protect your own needs and say what you believe is right.
Exactly. Like, you need to stand up for yourself and say no sometimes.
And that connects perfectly with today's topic.
Yeah, because in the end, it's not about being less kind.
It's about being honest and respecting yourself too.
Exactly. And the more you use these expressions, the more natural your English will start to feel.
So now it's your turn to speak a little.
Yeah, don't just listen. Try to use your English.
Let's start with a simple question. Do you think being too nice is a problem?
And why? Try to explain your answer in your own words.
And here's another one. When was the last time you said yes, but you actually wanted to say no?
Yeah, think about that situation and try to describe it. What happened? How did you feel?
You can pause the video right here and take a moment to answer these questions.
Even if your English is not perfect, that's completely okay. Just try to express your thoughts.
Yeah, that's how you improve.
For example, you could say something like, I think being too nice can be a problem because people don't understand your limits.
Or, last week I said yes to helping a friend, but I was already tired, and later I felt stressed.
Simple, honest sentences. That's all you need.
Exactly. And if you really want to improve your English through real conversations like this,
Make sure you subscribe to the channel.
and join us in the next episode.
So today we talked about something really important,
Yeah, how being too nice can sometimes create problems in your life,
like saying yes when you really want to say no.
and how that can lead to stress, frustration, and feeling drained.
But we also talked about a simple shift.
Yeah, that saying no is not rude. It's just being honest.
And we shared some useful phrases too.
Like, go along with it, speak up, and stand up for yourself.
Small ideas, but they can make a big difference.
Yeah, and remember, you don't have to change everything at once.
Just start with small steps.
And be a little more honest with yourself every day.
Your voice matters, and your feelings matter too.
And the more you respect yourself, the more others will respect you as well.
Keep learning, keep growing.
And keep improving your English step by step.
Thanks for spending this time with us.
We'll see you in the next conversation.
Bye, everyone.
Take care. Bye.